Assassin's Creed is hands down one of the largest gaming franchises of all time, and with its most recent release generating over $1 billion in revenue, you'd think it was in a pretty good place. Well, no. In recent years, the fanbase has been extremely vocal on their concerns with the direction that Assassin's Creed is heading. Many being disappointed with the last three releases, being Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla, which all have taken a new direction for the franchise and have all missed the mark on what makes Assassin's Creed Assassin's Creed. And because of this and several other factors such as terrible mismanagement, mass layoffs, and frequent game cancellations, Ubisoft is in a pretty tough place. And if there is one thing that has the chance to keep their heads above water, it's their flagship title in Assassin's Creed. But clearly, things need to change. And on the 12th of October, they will be releasing Assassin's Creed Mirage, a supposed return to roots game that will focus on the things that made this franchise so great to begin with. And it's safe to say that in a dire time for the company, Ubisoft need Mirage to be well received, and in an attempt to blend the old and the new, it could be the redemption that the Assassin's Creed franchise deserves. Imagine two paths, one having the RPG style of game that the past three have taken, and the other being the traditional AC style. While Mirage is attempting to bridge these two paths and head towards Ubisoft's big end goal in Assassin's Creed Infinity, which is essentially going to be the future of the franchise. It's going to act as a hub where we'll be able to hop into and play a variety of AC games. And look, we don't know a whole heap regarding Infinity, except for that it's likely going to release sometime in 2024 to 2025. Anyway, the importance of this is that Infinity is still a few years away, and if Ubisoft really want us fans to be excited for the future of Assassin's Creed, then they really need to stick the landing with Mirage. So far, all the marketing and hype regarding the game is that it's going to be this return to form, and that it's going to focus on stealth, assassinations, and parkour, which are all things that the last three games were sorely lacking. But from everything we have seen so far, I'm cautiously optimistic that Assassin's Creed Mirage will deliver, and here's why. The game is centered around Basim, who we met in Valhalla, but is set in 9th century Baghdad, well before his venture to England, and is going to focus on his journey going from a common street thief to a master assassin. According to the senior game designer, they looked back to previous titles when designing the parkour system, and described it being closer to the Ezio games by having it flow and keep the momentum going. To help us achieve this, they've added a bunch of environmental features, such as the return of corner swings, elevators to reach higher levels, and even some new mechanics, such as the pole vault, which will enable us to navigate large gaps in between roofs. In the gameplay trailer, we saw a ton of these environmental objects scattered around the streets of Baghdad. For instance, after assassinating this target, we see that we can collapse this wooden structure to gain a couple additional seconds whilst we flee the scene. This wasn't all, as we got a full-on escape montage of Basim parkouring his way back to the Assassin's Bureau, and it's clear that they've designed Baghdad to suit this style of gameplay. From different images and stills, it looks like parkourable objects are scattered everywhere, and according to leaks, the map size of Mirage is supposed to be similar to Paris in Unity or London in Syndicate, which will allow them to focus on the substance of the area and hone in on the finer details within the city. This is one thing that many people disliked with the past three games. The map size and scale of the games were just far too large, which can explain why parkour in those games were extremely limited. For reference, the landmass in Valhalla was nearly 50 times larger than that of Unity, and although majority of that size consists of the English countryside, it does sort of emphasize how parkour clearly wasn't a focus when designing that map. Whereas from what we've seen for Mirage, it seems that parkour was a staple element in the way that they are going to structure the city of Baghdad. Something that a lot of people have been saying and voicing their concerns over is that Mirage is just going to be a reskinned version of Valhalla. And in some ways it is, but it also isn't. Initially, Mirage was set to be a DLC expansion for Valhalla, but was greenlit to be its own standalone game. And likely because of this, many of the assets have carried over. And we can see that some of the movement and assassination animations are the exact same as Valhalla's. But what's more important when it comes to these things is how it feels when you're performing these moves, compared to just what they look like. And according to Ubisoft, Basim will be the fastest and most agile assassin in the franchise's history, and to make this happen, they have improved his animations accordingly. They have also reintroduced older animations and added some new ones. A couple that will stand out for older fans are the bench assassinations and rooftop garden assassinations, giving us some nostalgic ways to take out enemies. Something that has me excited is the reintroduction of the assassin bureaus that we are going to be able to unlock throughout Baghdad. One of my nitpicks with the newest games, more so Odyssey and Valhalla, is how the Brotherhood and Assassin story felt pushed to the side and didn't play a key role in those games. From the Middle Eastern setting to revisiting Alamut and being surrounded by assassins, it really has that feeling of an AC game. Not a Viking game or a Spartan game, but an Assassin's Creed game. And look, in some ways it's sad that we have to praise Ubisoft for giving us a true to the core Assassin's Creed game, but I would be lying if I said that this wasn't a step in the right direction. What I found most impressive from the gameplay trailer is all the new and returning stealth mechanics. We see that social stealth is back and will play a prominent role in how we remain undetected, as well as the ability to bribe factions to help us navigate guarded areas. We also see that Basim has a range of tools at his disposal to help take out guards and flee the scene undetected. In the trailer we saw an assassin contract which highlighted several of these items, such as noisemakers, which are essentially this game's version of cherry bombs, blow darts, which we have seen in previous installments, as well as throwing knives that Basim can use to quickly chain assassinate two targets. Something that has stirred up quite some controversy is the new assassin focus ability, where Basim can essentially select up to 5 enemies and teleport to each, assassinating them in succession. I fully understand how a feature like this can easily take the immersion out of the gameplay, and that people are having issues with how unrealistic it is. I have also seen theories that the teleportation could be a result of fragmented memories or glitches in the Animus, which could be a possible reasoning, but at the end of the day, it is a video game, and if it's something that is really bothersome to you, then simply don't use it. I'm sure that with the several tools at our disposal, there will be multiple ways to go about sneaking around areas and taking out enemies, so I doubt it's going to be a must-use mechanic. But if we accumulate everything that we have seen so far, it does seem that AC Mirage will be the return to roots that it's claiming to be. But that doesn't mean the game will be perfect. For instance, you already know that on day one, you'll be able to buy a unicorn mount that shits out rainbows, because Ubisoft can't help but shove monetized content down our throats. But still, if they can give us the best parts of both the new and old games and actually deliver, then there might just be some hope for the future of Assassin's Creed. And if you're considering getting Assassin's Creed Mirage, then check this video out where I reveal which is the best edition to get. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always guys, take care.